Test check 1, 2. Test check 1, 2. Ooh. You need a beard trim. Yellow. Kind of my hair. Today's birthdays. There's only one I know of. Happy birthday, Jason. It's Jason's birthday. Happy birthday, Jason. My shirt. I've got a couple Ghostbuster shirts, but I feel like I've worn all of them already, except for this one. So it is the 2016, like it's a uniform shirt. Nothing on that side. I've been wanting to find someone who can embroider and put my name, like, so I don't want to get like an actual name patch like on a uniform. I just want to embroider directly onto the shirt. That would be cool. Today, I'm stepping on everything. Today, we are taking a look at the Mondo Real Ghostbusters, quote unquote 1/12 scale. Once this is over, go watch my Peter Venkman review. I'm not gonna complain again. These aren't actual 1/12 scale, and I don't like the fact that they're not 1/12 scale, because I just want 1/12 scale Ghostbusters. But this is the second release, the deluxe timed edition of Egon Spengler and Boogieman, my favorite Ghostbuster and my favorite ghost. My favorite Ghostbusters ghost. My favorite real Ghostbusters ghost. My favorite real Ghostbusters monster. Antagonist. Etc. One thing that I was pleasantly surprised by, but kind of bummed, it's the exact same box. It is identical to the Peter Venkman box. Sorry, what's going on here, guys? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. I'm still gonna go over it. I'm not gonna make you. It'd be cool if you wanted to watch my Peter Venkman review, but I'm not gonna make it a prerequisite for watching this video. Go watch. Pause this live stream. Go watch that, then come back. No, but so it's identical to the Peter Venkman box. The only difference is the name on the side. Obviously, does not say Peter Venkman and Samhain. It says Egon Spengler and Boogieman. But that is the only difference. Everything else is identical. So it's good, because then that means, because I did want to keep the Venkman box, but I only wanted to keep one box. Well, if they were all different, I would have wanted to have kept all of them. The fact that they're so far, the two existing ones are identical means I only have to keep one of these. So I'm actually kind of, while it would have been cool to have a different box for each character, I'm actually now hoping that Winston and Ray come with this exact same box. So I only have to keep, and I initially had kept the Venkman box, but because Egon's my favorite, and again, the only difference is that right there, I have since done away with the Peter Venkman and Samhain box, because then I'll just be keeping this. So if Winston comes with this exact same box, I can toss Winston's box. If Ray comes with this exact same box, I can toss Ray's box. My only unknown factor is, I don't know if the insert's the same. I'm assuming it is. If the outside is identical, then I'm assuming the inside is also the inside of the firehouse. So I did keep Venkman's insert just in case this is different, but I'm kind of hoping it's not. So then I can just, again, toss Venkman's and keep this. So here is the front of the box. I'll pull it back because it is a big, big box. Something I did do in the Venkman video, which I will do again here. The box itself is 15 inches tall. And I'm caught on the flap. And it is 19 and almost 3/4 inches. Robo does this awesome thing where he actually, like, he goes, and it is 87/26 or whatever. You know, I mean, not like he doesn't incorrectly do it, and he doesn't make a joke of it, but like he knows the exact measurement of all these little notches. And given that I think he was in like steelworks or something, he probably had to know what all of them were for his job. But I'm like, so we have half, then we have quarters, and then what is it? 18ths and 36th. I don't know. It's almost 19 3/4 long. I don't know what that teeny tiny little notch before the 0.75 is. I don't know if it matters to anybody. But so yeah, it's a cool picture. It is a drawing of the firehouse. We have this awesome, oh geez, it's heavy, like sparkly, embossed Mondo exclusive. I figured it out in the Venkman video, and I'm gonna end up repeating myself here, which I didn't want to do. I don't know if it's a sticker or it's a sticker. Okay. I don't want to peel it off. I like it. It's cool. Like I wasn't sure if it was a sticker or if it was part of the box, like embossed or whatever. So the top of the box is the top of the firehouse. Air conditioning unit there, which is funny because the actual firehouse, like that you can go visit in New York City right now, it's long ways. And so not just the real firehouse, but also the firehouse in the Ghostbusters movies and cartoon. So it's like the front door should be here, which would then make the, oh gosh, rooftop more accurate. My tripod caught the bottom of my couch, and now it's catching on the bottom of my pajamas. So, but then I understand why they did it this way, because, you know, just it's easier to lay the figures out like that and then actually have the working doors, which we'll get to that in a second. The sides, it's got the real Ghostbusters logo there. Egon, Spengler, and Boogieman exclusive figure set, 1/12 scale. No, it's not. You guys are lying. French and Spanish. On the other side, it is literally the same as the previous side. And then on the back, got some graffiti. Again. I should have started the video, but better late than ever. The reason I have this is thanks to my bestie and trivia host, Kat. Thank you, Kat. I I will do my best to pay you back, and even once I have, I will still feel like it is not enough. But so we compared the boxes side by side, and like I said, except for the Egon, Spengler, and Boogieman, and the Peter Venkman and Samhain, it's identical. Identical. We have our creative team here, which I like thanking. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Hector. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Brett. And thank you, Jordan. Your work is very much appreciated. Going back to the front. So I did take the plastic off ahead of time. And then when you opened this up, it was like tissue paper. So I did remove that as well. So we have a little, you can see the insides of the doors. I like that they went to that level of detail. We have the interior of the firehouse in the border around the window, and I'm hoping that the insert is that as well, because that's what came with Venkman's box. But you can kind of see bits and pieces. Everyone's covered in plastic wrap, so that makes it a little obscured. One thing that a lot of people have been complaining about, and I don't disagree, there's a lot of wasted space here. Go again, once this is over, go watch my Venkman video. Venkman and Samhain didn't take up all this space. Egon and Boogieman aren't taking up all this space. I don't think Winston and Sandman or Ray and Mr. Gash are going to take up all this space. So they could have saved a lot of cardboard and just made it a little bit smaller. I don't know. It's off camera, so you definitely can't see it. We got little magnets up here so that the doors can click. So I believe there. Yep, there's magnets at the bottom too. So I was feeling the door. Yeah. So there's the box. And go ahead and get it open. I'm going to switch to the front. So my horrifying visage can scare you while you're waiting for the ghosts to scare you. If while you're waiting, the brain fart, the video description has all of my Ghostbuster related links. It has Kat and my Ghostbuster Trivia, where I was in full uniform and Kat was dressed as Dana as Zool. It has my Venkman review. It has my HasLab 2 in the box, the trap and PKE meter review. Ooh. And it has the link to the my artwork, my Ghostbusters artwork on merch in my Threadless shop. So you can get t-shirts or throw pillows or beach towels, etc. I was trying not to repeat myself because I always use the example of throw pillow and beach towel. The insert is identical. Thank the maker. I mean, I may end up like putting them side by side just to double check, but as far as I can tell, it is identical. It is the interior. You've got the floor. They even did the ceiling on the underside of the flap, which is just awesome. Sorry about the ring light glare. You got the pole to slide down. You got Janine's desk. You got the staircase. Janine and her desk are going to be the next timed edition. Well, while Ray was still, well, no, because Ray was up until the morning of Halloween Eve. And then they put a slightly recolored Samhain with brand new heads and hands and ghosts, not available anywhere else. And they put that up for Halloween weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that was it. I think it went to Monday morning of November 2nd. And I couldn't get it. It was hard enough, and Kat helped me out with Ray and Mr. Gash. So I didn't need a second Samhain, but the extra heads that are completely different from the Samhain I already own, the hands that are completely different from the Samhain I already own, and even though it is slightly recolored, the only quote unquote flesh, the only orange that you see on Samhain that isn't robe are his head and hands. So you literally could just pick which robe body you wanted to use, and as long as you kept the correct colors of hands with heads, everything would still match. And then he came with a new Slimer, like in one of his new hands, which I didn't necessarily care all that much about, as much as I cared about the extra hands and heads. But what really ticked me off, and what really ticked a lot of people off, is that Sam came with 2 little ghosts that are brand new to this line and have yet to be offered anywhere else. So it's like they were punishing everyone who backed their very first release for this line. Because you can still get Venkman and Spengler and Winston and Ray by themselves without the big ghosts. But you had to pre-back each Buster in the timed editions that only ran for a month to get the big ghosts. And so, yes, it's cool that that they kind of made the big ghosts available to people who wanted to come into the line late, except not, because it was only available for 3 days and only available for 3 days immediately after their last window for one of the Busters. So it's like Ray's window closed and then this new Samhain went up. So it's like they're still not only screwing over people who want to come into the line late, but they're screwing over everyone who backed them in the first place. Because, I mean, the way business works, and I know that it's probably not as interesting staring at this while I'm ranting, not that staring at, the staring at me and my horrible face is any better, but like, the way business works, if Venkman's sales had done abysmally, I don't know if we would have gotten Egon, let alone Winston and Ray. So literally everyone, and I didn't, Kat helped me with the remaining 3, but Venkman went up when I was still in a good financial state. I did Venkman by myself. I did Venkman all by myself. So I personally, without anyone's help, backed their Venkman and Samhain. And I got to remember to pull them over for comparison. And it's just, it absolutely felt and feels like a middle finger to go, oh, hey, here's here's extra pieces we didn't give you the first time around, and now you have to spend another $110 on top of everything. if you want these extra pieces, but we're not going to give you a month to come up with that $110. We're going to only give you 3 days after we just took $235 for another Buster and Big Ghost. I honestly rather that they had just put up the exact same Samhain for the people who either couldn't or initially didn't want to do the timed edition and just left it up. Because again, like I said, you can go anywhere. You can go on Mondo's site. You can go on Big Bad Toy Store, not sponsored. You can go on Entertainment Earth, not sponsored. You can get the individual Busters still. They're still available. So it's like, I would not have felt slighted or middle fingered had they put up the exact same Samhain with the exact same heads and hands and accessories for everyone else. I don't need to feel special for owning something that other people don't or can't. That is the dumbest mindset for a collector to have, and there's a lot of collectors that have that mindset. It's the dumbest mindset to have. I would be happy that other people could hate. You know, I got Samhain early, but now you can get Samhain too. Like, that would be awesome. But no, instead, they screw over all the people who did get him early and then continue to screw over all of the rest of the people. Threeps was not able to get in on the timed edition, and he was like, well, if I can't do that, then I'm not getting in on the line at all. So when they were like, oh, hey, here's another Samhain coming out, Threeps was like, hey, you know what? I'll support the line, until it was like, oh, 3 days. And he couldn't do it. He didn't choose not to either time. Both times came up at a time where he didn't have the money. And 30 days is hard enough for some of us to come up with this money. But 3 after we just gave you double the money for someone else? So the Venkman video bitching about the fact that they're claiming to be 1/12 scale, but they're slightly larger. And now I'm bitching about these shenanigans. And, you know, people say, vote with your wallet, vote with your wallet. The problem is there are enough people that make that pointless. So when you vote with your wallet, the company isn't hurt at all. You're hurt for not buying it. Because if you wanted it and you choose not to buy it to show them, you end up not having something you wanted. And they didn't learn any lesson because they still sell out and they still make the money, which I was going to say they still make all the money. They'd make more money if they made more of these. Well, they don't want to have a leftover stock. Then have an open pre-order that is open for more than a month. And, you know, it's just. So screw your customers because you don't want to get screwed. I mean, but without your customers, you don't have a business. You live and die on our support. And I'm not the type of person who thinks that they owe me, but it's like that it isn't true to the extent that some people take the entitlement, but it is 100% true when you consider just the basic economic system of consumer and provider. It's like, you don't exist without my money. And you owe me what my money is supposed to equal. And especially given that these are not necessities, these are luxuries. This is supposed to be a hobby. And especially in such a bad economy, the last thing you want to do as a company solely existing for only making luxuries and no necessities, the last thing you need is fewer customers and to piss off the ones that you do have. You know me, I'm testing joints without a camera between me and the plastic, so that I can more safely show you. And I've already seen people say that there is no way, and I'm confirming it right now, there is no way he is standing without his included stand. Even if these joints were tight enough, this is still too big and heavy for these legs to support. And they're not, I wouldn't say they're loose, but they're not tight either. There's no way these leg joints are supporting this head. Oh, it's so great. Like I said, these are my favorites. The fact that they package them together is just so great. Okay. Make sure that there is nothing left in here. Okay. How's everyone's Sundays? It's been typical Chicagoland weather recently, where we're in November. Last Monday was so unforgivably cold all day. And since Tuesday, it's gone back up to like the 60s. Yesterday was almost 70 during the day, but then it drops to mid 30s at night. Yay, Chicago. Ooh, I like that little. I'll show you on camera. Ooh, very nice. Ooh, very nice. Where's that plug into though? Oh. Maybe this giant thing staring me in the face. Sorry. Ooh. See, I should have kept ranting. Now I got nothing to talk about while I'm finishing the unboxing process. And I can flip the camera back around and show you all of this great stuff up close. Do. All of that. Okay. Rock and roll, mother effer. I can't hear you, BK Lounge. I listened to a bunch of Dane Cook albums the other night, which I grew up with, but was unsure how some of the stuff aged, and I don't just mean because different times, but just because, as you know, my tastes change, and I still found most of it funny. There were some where I'm just like, shut up. Though, despite still enjoying at least, you know, what I grew up with, and I'm not against or dislike Anthony Jeselnik. I've never really gotten into his stuff, but he has this routine that is just the best ever, where he goes, here's a normal story, and he just tells a normal story, and then he goes, now here's a Dane Cook stand-up routine, and he tells the exact same story, but he tells it the way Dane Cook does his sets. And it's like, the initial story, there was nothing funny in it, but the Dane Cook set, like, the story was suddenly funny because of all of the wacky noises and the high energy and everything. And it was kind of like, it's like, Dane Cook doesn't actually tell jokes. He's just it was funny. So it was funny as someone who still enjoys Dane Cook for the most part. But yeah, my favorite comedian was Dave Attell, and I still do like him a lot. So he didn't get replaced because he did or said something that made me dislike him. It's because I grew to love Daniel Tosh more. So Daniel Tosh is my favorite comedian. I watched a couple of his stand-up specials today. Doo. Rat tail. Oh. Ooh. Oh, please don't. I feel like this is still a darker teal than it should be, but it doesn't seem as dark as it appeared initially through the box window. Though we'll see once I get it under the harsh, unforgiving ring light. But right now, with all of my interior lights on, it doesn't look as dark as it initially did when I first opened the flaps. Okay. Oh, geez. It's flippity-doo. Flippity-da. Oh. All right. So the first thing we got is we have some more. Oh, I forgot to pull the other ones out to compare. Well, I won't be able to. Like, I've got Venkman and Samhain to compare, and Slimer to compare. And then you can obviously see off camera, I've got other GB stuff to compare. I forgot to pull Venkman's cardboard ghosts out to compare, but we'll punch out standees. Come on. Oh, I think I mentioned it's black on the other side. Real Ghostbusters. Copyright. Ooh, come on. Copyright. I think I mentioned in the Venkman video, it's the last time I saw an episode of the cartoon was in the 80s. I do have all of the Diamond Select Toys Mates Real Ghostbusters. I was getting the Hasbro reissues of the old Kenner stuff. I passed on a few of the figures, but like Yeah, I don't. If these guys have names, I don't know them. I know. Just that fell out. Let's try this one last time. Don't let go of it. There we go. I don't. This guy has a name, and I don't remember what it is. But I mean, the name was said with the ordering of this set, so it's not even that I would have to remember it from the 80s. It's that you go on Mondo's site and his name was right there alongside Egon's and Boogieman's. I just was stupid enough to not write it down. So much like Slimer, in fact, that might be the exact same stand. It's got like a little slime stand with a ball joint. You got a little socket there. Ooh. You did come packaged on it, so that's why I had to remove it for you, but you get all that ball joint movement. You get a little wiggle, but there's no other lateral movement other than just a swivel rotation all the way around. So with the wiggle, like I guess you could say there's a ball in there, but like there's no hinge. And, you know, like I said, you don't get any movement out. And then the biggest complaint, which again, don't want to repeat myself from the Venkman Slimer video, but again, don't want that to have to be a prerequisite for watching this one. It's just, they're a little short. So it's, you know, you would expect them to be floating up, you know, pretty much eye level with the humans. So that's something that would be nice if they not only produced, but also made available as just an open order and never limited them. Just, you know, which again, we shouldn't have to buy something that should have come with it in the first place, but taller flight stands for the little ghosts. Holy crap, 38 minutes. I apologize. It's going to be a long one. I'll try and hurry it along. Egon comes with a pair of grip gloved hands. It has the hinge peg, so you can go vertical, or you can rotate it, and you can go horizontal. He's got a pair left and right. He's got a pair of flesh hands, and those are the only hands he comes with. Would have been nice to, you know, fists or relaxed hands or splayed out or something. He comes with a pair of glove cuffs to place over his sleeves if you're using the gloved hands. He, of course, comes with his iconic proton pack. I would imagine it is the same mold as Venkman's. And then the Neutrona wand, the proton thrower, and then what did I figure out with it's at the base? Yes. Ha ha ha. That was less scary than. Nope, it has to be upside down. Then maybe that's the same mistake I made with Venkman. Unless. Eek. There's not a lot of room there. Or does it just go? I should have rewatched my Venkman video. I do watch my own stuff. That is, oh man, that is stressing the crap out of that. Where did, because T-Fits was watching, T-Fits from articulatedthoughts.com. He was watching my Venkman video and he was like, nope, you got to clip it here. And I did. And I was like, holy crap, that worked. Thanks, T-Fits. Okay, so it's at the base of the handle. It does not stretch or stress the clip. And because of all of the greeblies and everything, that is the only position that it can clip in. Then comes with a ghost trap, no cartridge. The line is a wire. It is a bendy wire, but is one of those where if you bend it too many times, it may end up breaking. So just be careful with how many times you bend it. It's got the pedal at the end. You can either put in a stock cartridge or something that Spengler will come with regardless, is a mini Boogieman. So this is Boogieman when he is not being so scary and intimidating. And it just slides in as well. So then you get him being sucked down into it. Something I had an issue with the Venkman video was just trying to get that to stand. Of course, it stands no problem. I'm not going to complain. Thank you for standing no problem. You can also store the pack on the store the trap on the pack. So you've got like a little hole there and a little hook as I'm covering it up. Sorry. So you just slide over that and pull it down slightly, so then it's hooked on, and then pull it down, and then this little hook is what the wire will loop around. And see, the base of the wire is already starting to lighten up, and that's a bad sign. That is that's a stress mark. I'm getting ready to break. And of course I can't get, there we go. Did I bring it? I did not, but okay, so I have fat Sharpies over here, but Misfit said if you take a pen, so the X-Acto knife, but just because the Sharpies are too fat. I'm going to body shame Sharpies. You take a pen and you wrap the cable around it, and I did this for Venkman after my video, so I didn't have it during the video, so I will do this for Spengler during the video. Said if you wrap the wire around a pen, so you know, something thin and cylindrical, it gives it a nice curl that you can hang from this little hook. Come on. There we go. And to put it on, slots, tabs, oop, wait, hang on. He also comes with a, all over the place here. He comes with a scared face. Oh, swap the heads. Easier without the, ooh, that's why I wasn't getting much motion out of it. My dumbbell is stuck. I may have to heat that up. Ow. Ooh. Yeah, that sucks. Okay, well, yeah, anyways, I was saying it'd be easier to swap it without the pack on, but so swapping heads is easy enough. but I'm not going to be able to show you articulation with the head because that is friggin' stuck. Oh, hurting myself and afraid I'm going to break it. So with a dumbbell, you should get a lot of movement up or down or side to side. This is not a permanent, this isn't permanently limited. I have to dunk this in some boiling water. And that's just something that I don't want to do in the middle of a live stream that is already going on longer than I would prefer. He's got pin hinged shoulders that come up about that far. Does go all the way around. He does have a butterfly joint that goes back that far, not a whole lot, but it does come forward a little bit better. At the seam of the torso widening, yes, that is. That's great. They have single jointed elbows. They come up to 90. They rotate, and luckily the elbow pad is a separate piece, so it will travel with it. And then, like I said, about the hands, you can either have horizontal or vertical because you can just twist them on the pegs. So hands are easy enough to swap out. Put the glove cuff on. So you want to make sure that it's as far down as possible so then the hand can sit as deeply as it needs to sit. And it just so happens that Egon was not only my favorite live action, rest in peace Harold, but I like his suit colors, and I like the red glasses, and I like that they had to make him blonde to skirt likeness rights. They have some kind of, I think it's a ball. I'd have to pop it apart, and it's not meant to, so I'd A, be risking breaking it, or B, would have to boil it and pop it apart. But you don't get much more than just rotation. And I know that I still have accessories to show, but I wanted to put the pack on him. So he's got ball jointed hips. They're a little limited in range. So you put the legs straight for, there we go. So comes out that far. Comes up pretty much 90. Single jointed knees. Does not hit 90, but it does rotate on the peg. We have a swivel at the top of the boot. So it will swivel all the way around. Then we have a hinge. Goes up that far. Goes back pretty much all the way. You can see that it's kind of stretching and misforming, but it's a soft enough plastic to do that without worry. Boop. And then it'll just go back to its original shape. And then because it's a forward-facing pin, we have rocker all the way in. It's amazing. Rocker all the way out, which no one needs, but it's still nice to have, especially when you get all the way in. If in is limited and out is all the way, then it's a little disappointing. But so then get his head through the straps and then tab. And if you have meaty fingers, which I don't, I have very slender fingers, but in terms of something that is small like this, comparatively, my fingers are meatier than these straps. Just use a pair of pliers, use a pair of tweezers to help you get the leverage you need to plug them in. So there we go. Come on. A stance. Let's go. Head, hands, ghost trap. We have an ecto grenade Pretty awesome. Though, again, these hands are very soft. Okay, maybe those are softer, but it's like without a different set of hands, I don't know how they expect them to hold. Like, yeah, so can't really hold that too well, does it? Let's see if there's any, like, that's a separate piece, but I don't know if I don't want to scratch the paint. Does it come apart? Ooh, maybe. I don't know if it's meant to come apart or if I just broke it. I think I just broke it, but like that doesn't, I mean, A, that could be glued back, and B, it doesn't even look like it needs glue. I just, I popped the tabs out of the slots. So, oh, nope. Okay. I'll have to glue that back. Well, this is not meant to come apart. Because the reason I was looking is because a lot of people were like, oh, he comes with a PKE meter. Well, that's cool. It's permanently stuck in the closed position, but at least he can hold it well. And it's like, the top part slides up and the ears, oh, come on. Keep it upside down. Come on. And the ears are hinged. Okay, and it does lock into place. So you gotta pull it so it kind of locks into place, and the ears come up. So that's why I was like, maybe there's a feature with the grenade that no one had discovered yet, or I just hadn't read about. But nope, grenade is meant to be solid. I'll have to glue that back together, but at least the PKE works well, and then you just fold them back down and slide it back in, and that's really cool. And then we have a hook there. Oh, see? It doesn't really lock. I mean, it kind of locks at an angle. So, like, to the right, it's loose. To the left, it's kind of locked. unless you do that. Okay, so then to the right, again, that's the right. So if you're looking at it right side up, to the right it's loose, but to the left it's a little sturdier. So we got the hook, and then we have his hook there. Boop. And it is sliding back out. All right, there we go. And again, there's it is easily fixable. It does not affect anything, and I'm kind of glad I did it so that other people can make sure not to. Actually, does that slot that, because that's got like a stopper. Okay, so it's not supposed to come apart, but that has to be able to slide up. You saw there was no way to grip. There's no way to grip it to pull it up, but they sculpted a stopper for it. So, and given that I pulled it apart, so like there's like a little lip there, and then there's a little lip there, so it can slide down, but then it can also slide and not slide all the way out. So clearly this was meant to go up and down. It's just the body of it was not meant to come apart. But yeah, then I don't know how you were supposed to get under there to pry it up. I mean, it's loose now because it's loose in the body, but all right. We have a Proton stream. You'll see this with Venkman because I'm not going to take him out of his pose, but it plugs onto the end of the wand. And now the big boy of the hour. Oh, and then Egon also comes with a stand and sweaty hands fogging up the clear plastic. 2 pegs. 2 peg holes. Guys, put the holes in the heels. And then you see the holes are different sizes, and then the pegs are different sizes. So it will only work. I mean, you could put the smaller peg in the larger hole, but you couldn't do the other way around. That's what she said. So I'm going to take him off the stand for comparisons because that's skewing the height. In fact, let me just do that now. Come on. It's a good stand. And as I complained about with Venkman, he's almost 7 inches to his hair. That's not 12 scale, guys. I mean, superhero 12 scale is 6.5 inches. Because a 6-foot person is supposed to be 6 inches. And then just, stuff like Marvel Legends just tends to skew a little bit higher. Because 7 inches is 1/10 scale. And Harold and Dan were the tallest. So, yeah, this is not 1/12 scale. I still want 1/12 scale because Hasbro didn't give that to us either with Plasma Series. They're smaller than 6 inches. Anyways, there's no S at the end of anyway. I showed you the Doctor Strange spellcasting hands for Boogieman. They only have horizontal hinges. Rock and roll. Rock and roll! That's sign language for I love you. And we have Boogieman's base. And my sweaty hands. We have this cool arm here. It's padded. It's like foam that's in there, which is nice. This is nice and tight, although you see the bolt and you see the screw head, you can tighten it. So if it loosens over time, you can tighten it. I love stands like these. So we have arms that way, and then we have a hinge like that, and then we have a hinge like that, and then we have a hinge like that. And then, sorry, it's focusing on behind him. There's the hole for the stand. We have an alternate head where he is just scaring the bejesus out of everybody. Look at his hair and just the giant nose and the ears. And yes, these are supposed to be the same character. Again, I haven't seen the episode since the 80s. So him being my favorite is based purely on looks at this point in my life. I absolutely need to go back and rewatch the series. I need to watch all the episodes. I did say I've read some of the IDW RGB comics, so I've done that more recently. But yes, so these are the same character, and I think this is his true form, and he can Hulk out this big to scare the bejesus out of everybody. But then, because this is his true form, and they're trapping him, so he's like, "No, my power's gone." So, to show you how big this head is, so it's balancing on the tips of the hair there. I mean, it's not balancing; I'm holding it, but I put the tips of the hair on the table. Yeah, remember, Egon's almost 7 inches tall. So that's the alternate head. And the head we get on him is also amazing and gigantic. And the cool thing about this is that's not a mold line. He has an articulated jaw. That's very cool. Ooh! It wasn't that difficult, but because it got away from me. I ended up smacking that. So there's his stock head. I'm going to put the alternate head on, but I'm going to leave it off for articulation. He has a non-stuck dumbbell joint. Oh, nice and tight, which is good because the head is the heaviest part of him. He has a little bit of wiggle at the base, but mainly just rotation. And you just keep the Adam's apple to the center. He has capped shoulders. So it's a peg, hinge, peg, like Egon's wrists. So it comes up that far. It will go all the way around, but just the design of the jacket, because it's diagonal, it's going to go out at an angle. But then you can swivel it on that peg. In fact, can I slide it off the peg or slide the peg out of his body? I can't. I didn't feel like I was going to break it, but it was absolutely resisting me. So, but he's got single jointed elbows. They come up to 90, and then it rotates, swivels on that. You saw the hands. So again, horizontal hinges. Sorry for knocking the camera. Dried paint in the joint. I'll just swap both hands. Why not? Okay. He has a ball joint. So part of the upper chest is solid that goes down into the lower torso. So you get a little wiggle. So like crunch-ish. No real back because the coat gets in the way. It is a softer material. But then you also get rotation at that. I love his digitigrade. Digitigrade. It's digit-a-grade. Not digitigrade. Digitigrade puts the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. He's got the same setup of the peg, hinge, peg for his thighs. So can really only go up that far. Can't go back really all that, which honestly, that's kind of good because then that should keep him more stable. But again, I said that these are far too loose to support the weight of the head. But because there's a peg going into there, you should be able to get a rotation on that peg. I'm just having a hard time getting, which again, tighter joints in the lower body when you have a giant noggin like that are always preferable to what isn't as tight. But again, thank God for the stand. So he has hinge knees that actually fold all the way up. Then they also rotate. Actually, you can rotate them all the way around. Then the first ankle. I'm sure there's a more scientific word for that, but goes all the way back, goes that far forward. Then, like I said, you get rotation on that, and you should be able to rotate it all the way around. You just have to play with the hinge. And then the bottom ankle at the hoof. My hooves comes, straighten it out. Forward that far, goes back all the friggin' way, and then because it is a forward-facing pin, we get good rock in, better rock out. Can I get that much rock in? Yes, I can. Okay, so all the way in, all the way out. I mean, like I said, there's just a little too much give there. Definitely going to incorporate the stand. You can see that the coattails kind of hang down, but once we get him standing, it'll just stay like that. I'm going to put it around his waist. And then the coattails are going to get in the way. That's great. So then straighten that out. Okay, so put the head back on. You saw how the other one came off. Let's see how this one goes on. And yes, I'm leaving the stand arm there. Or not. Let's take the stand arm off. Ooh. I mean, I guess that's in. Body wasn't going anywhere. So the hair gets in the way, and then, like I said, the coattails are going to block the hole, so you got to like move them to the side. Peg in. Yeah, so I'm not even going to attempt to try and stand him without the stand. Thank you for making a stand. Thank you for including the stand. Thank you for making the stand good effing quality. That is a good quality stand, just in general, but especially to have to hold that up. And the grenade fell apart. So there they are. Jeez, can't even. He's almost 10 inches tall. That's great. Let's move these guys out of the way. Let's move the head out of the way. Let's move the accessories. Yep, see, there goes the grenade part. I have to make sure I glue that back before I do anything with it after that. Egons or Boogiemen's. The only other Boogieman I have is the Diamond Select Toys Mini-Mates. I'm so cute. And then, of course, we also have Egon, horrendously miscolored. Which is weird, because I feel like the other three are exactly the color they should be. So, and I always thought that Egon was correct. But when I dug him out of the bin, I mean, I didn't empty the bin out. So maybe this was like a variant, and that there is a correctly colored Egon Mini-Mate in that bin, but this is not a review of the Mini-Mate Egon. So there's the Mini-Mates. In terms of real Ghostbusters, we have the Scooch, please. This is the Hasbro version of the Kenner figure. However, that is a Kenner pack. As I said in my Venkman video, I did get a Ziploc bag full of old broken Kenner packs that either these were broken off of or they were stressed or whatever. So I did cut them all off. So that way I could have a pack with no wacky proton stream sticking up and not have to cut it off the more mint version of the pack. So I do have an untrimmed version that came with him of the same mold, but this is not a review. But yeah, so yeah, it was a Ziploc bag for like $2 or $3, and there were like 12 of those proton packs in various stages of disrepair, and so I managed to cobble together 4 complete ones that I could just display like that. Story over. This has not been remade by Hasbro, so this is a genuine vintage Kenner, real Ghostbusters, the Wolfman creature or the werewolf creature? No, the Wolfman creature. The Wolfman creature, the Wolfman monster. The Wolfman monster, sorry. I don't know if this is my childhood one or not. Because I know with the Turtles, I can definitively say this. I had this as a child, but this is not my childhood one. This was an eBay purchase 10 years ago or whatever. This might be my childhood one. I don't ever remember buying one of him off of eBay. So if it's in my possession, then it must be my childhood one. But he's my favorite. He's awesome. He's currently on display with my Fresh Monkey Fiction Big Bad Workshop Operation Monster Force werewolves. So this is not a review. So RGB. I thought of this last second. I don't have any of the Mattel guys, but I did initially get Holtzman when she came out because she was my favorite, and she's very Egon, especially the RGB version with the blonde bouffants. I have since gotten Abby and Aaron. I am still missing Patty, though. So if you want to help me out with a cheap Mattel Patty, that'd be awesome. But so Mattel, Answer the Call 2016, Jillian Holtzman. We have the Hasbro Plasma series. See, that's not 1/12 either, guys. That's under 6 inches. And again, Harold was one of the taller ones. And that's over 6 inches. I just want a 6-inch Ghostbusters line, you dicks. Oh, my God. But these are still infinitely better figures. All due respect, no intention on speaking ill of the dead. Rest in peace, Diamond Select Toys. But the Diamond Select Toys, geez, at least he stands better than Venkman. These were nice at the time, and like I said, I did get all 4 as a birthday present. And so definitely not looking that gift horse in the mouth. My good friend Mike got them for me back when they were all brand spanking new. But in retrospect, they are absolutely showing their age and have not aged well. But Egon, speaking of Diamond Select, I do have the full-size Select version of this. I don't know where it is. When I first moved into this apartment, all of my extra crap went into my second bedroom as a storage room because the size and price of this 2-bedroom apartment was more size and less money than my previous 1-bedroom and off-site storage unit. So I was getting more room for less money by moving in here. So my storage unit moved into the second bedroom, and when it was everything thrown in there, just an absolute, just like a hurricane, just dropped it all on, not a tornado, like a tornado just dropped it all in there. I could find everything. And then I organized it, and they're all in neat little stacks, and they're all organized, and there's a nice little path through the room, and I can't find like a third of my belongings. So I have the Diamond Select Nightmare Before Christmas Select Oogie Boogie, but the only one I could find other than the Mini-Mate, which why bring that Mini-Mate out when I have the actual Boogieman Mini-Mate? But this is the Funko, and it's not the Pops. It's the Vinyl, VYNYL. Like they're differently stylized, and then they came in 2-packs. I don't remember who came with him because I'm pretty sure I got rid of them because I just wanted Oogie Boogie because he's my second favorite character in the movie, but he is the Boogieman. So that's the other Boogieman. I would have loved to have like the full, that's a 1/10 scale. Where is he? That's a 1/10 scale. So 1/10 scale, a 6-foot person is 7 inches tall. That is accurate to Harold Ramis's height in the 1/10 scale. So this is not 1/12 scale. I'm going to keep saying that until I or the line dies, and hopefully neither happens soon. But yeah, so it would have been cool to have a 1/10. I own it. It's in this apartment. I saw it in this apartment, and very few people have come in here. And when they have, I've been here, and I have a security camera. So this is not a review. My giant Oogie Boogie is in this apartment somewhere. I don't freaking know where it is, along with my Transformers Prime Soundwave and Kingdom Dinobot and all right, let's get Venkman. No, we're gonna save that for last. I'm doing things out of order here. My usual, we have the Super 7 Silverhawks Ultimates, and I know the stand is moving them up, but A, I feel more secure that way, and B, if you watch my video, his color comes off on my hands, and this way I don't have to touch him. I can just use the stand to move him around. Still absolutely furious about that. But Super 7, Silverhawks Ultimates, Bluegrass, and Sideman. The McFarlane Toys, Mortal Kombat 11, Shadow of Spawn. I do have a whole Spawn shelf, and I don't really, other than like Shao Kahn, I don't have any other of McFarlane's Mortal Kombat figures. It's just this is the most classic looking Spawn, and this was always my favorite design of him. More red in the torso, whereas more modern versions, his body is just all black and white, and the red is only cape and hands and foot. So that's why I keep, that's why I keep bringing out the Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn and not just a regular Spawn, because this is my regular default Spawn. That's not the sword he comes with, but it is still McFarlane. It's still a Spawn sword. The Fresh Monkey Fiction Big Bad Workshop, Operation Monster Force, Delta Red, Urban Operations Trooper, my figure of 2024. Go watch that video when this is done, please. The Metacom Mafex Snyder Cut Justice League Batman. I have a video on him as well. The NECA TMNT2 Secret of the Ooze Michelangelo. That is 1/10 scale. And the turtles are shorter than humans. So that's, yeah. The Jakks Pacific Super Mario. I was like, I should have brought a Boo out. Like, there's a ghost in Mario. Could have brought the ghost. Problem is, the Jakks Pacific ones don't have flight stands. So it would literally just be like, so instead of like comparing a figure of a humanoid person standing against all these, there would have been this white orb sitting like that. And then I do have the Figure Arts one, but that is on a flight stand, but it's this was still the better option for comparisons. Storm Shadow is taking a break because I have these mini-mates. There's no need to bring another mini-mate out from a different line. The Fresh Monkey Fiction, and I don't mean to double team Fresh Monkey Fiction, it's just this is my favorite 1/18th scale figure. 1/18th scale, a 6-foot person is 3 3/4 inches. And yes, again, he's got a stand. But Fresh Monkey Fiction, Eagle Force Agent Grimm. Another Hasbro offering, the Hasbro Marvel Legends comic book Deadpool. And I know it kind of was like leaning heavier off to this side just because that's where everyone was, and it was just easier to. And then I will bring out the previous Mondo Real Ghostbusters release, who is currently behind me, as you can see. Move him. You need to stay there. All right. You don't need to stare at my double chin. Hello. Thank you. And yeah, the inclusion of this is just not because it was my figure of the year for 2024, but because I wanted to get some more variety in. And I haven't remembered him for all of my recent comparisons. I've remembered sometimes to bring him in, but not every time. All right. Try not knock over Mythic Legion's Terpiculi. We have the Mondo Real Ghostbusters 1/12 scale Samhain, and yes, the correct pronunciation of that word is Samhain, but the character in the Real Ghostbusters universe, his name is pronounced Samhain. Why did the tint go blue all of a sudden? Thank you. There's Slimer, and yes, I think that is... No, it's a completely different stand. This one's smaller. It's a different shape. Good to know. Is the ball the same? No. It's got a bigger button. Oh! So yeah, I mean, he'll go on there, but he doesn't snap onto the ball. The screen just went blue again. Yeah, and see, he doesn't. And then he's obviously not going to fit on the bigger ball with the smaller hole, as what she said. Nope. All right, so Slimer, and see, just he should be up here. That's something they should have put out after Ray and Mr. Gash ended, and not for 3 days. Like I said, they should have just put it up, and it should still be up. Is taller Ghost Ooze, and he is on his stand because he's in a cool pose. I said I would show you the Proton stream, the Mondo Real Ghostbusters 1/12 scale Peter Venkman. So he is crouched and is on his stand, but at least that shows you the Proton stream. Stop with the weird color, man. Go back to the... Come on. Man, I don't know why it was doing that. I was not hitting any settings. So there we go. 2 down. Oh, sorry. I'm taking the hat off with the microphone attached to it, and then I hit the microphone. That's not going to work for you guys. That's the only way you can hear me. 2 down, 2 to go. Next up is Winston and not Mr. Sandman. Winston and the Sandman. Winston Zeddemore. And then, like I said, what was just up for pre-order was the timed edition of Ray Stantz and Mr. Gash. Again, thank you, Kat, for your help with Egon, Winston, and Ray. Hopefully I can get Janine by myself and not have to rely on you. And like I said, Janine will not come with a giant ghost. She will come with her desk, which is just kind of awesome. Like, more action figure furniture, please. I got a couple wheelchairs with some Professor X's, and I got a couple scooters with Deadpool and Squirrel Girl, but let's get a couch, you know? Like, I'm gonna put my action figures on a couch. But I still have issues. Stop. Why are you? Thank you. I still have issues with a lot of things. Some of the articulation is limited. Come on. Like when I brought Samhain in, he threw off the entire tint. What in the actual crap? Why is orange and burgundy making the video blue? Can someone explain that to me, please? What the heck is... Why is it doing that? All right. I have issues with limited articulation. I have issues with astronomical price. I have issues with everything. I'm not going to pretend that I don't love them. Like, they're great, you know? They can't hit the poses I want them to hit. They're bigger than I want them to be, but they're still great. Like, I was really hoping Hasbro was going to do them for Plasma Series, and that didn't happen. And then they, Mondo announced these. Hasbro's would have been a lot more affordable as well. Like I said, they're pretty great. With the limited 3-day drop of the slightly different Samhain. If you want Boogieman, I would say watch out for another limited 3-day drop of a slightly different Boogieman with different heads and hands than they gave us here. But like I said, Mondo's store, any other toy retailers, BBTS, Entertainment Earth, none of these people are... The only sponsor of this video is Kat. And I told her, I was like, if you've got some kind of like side hustle, like Etsy or whatever, I would say, this video is sponsored by Kat. Go check her Etsy store out at this link or whatever. But you can get the guys, you can get the humans, and like I said, they stop. Why? They do still come with the little ghosts. They do still come with the the little version of the big ghost being sucked into the trap. So if you went and bought Egon right now, you would still get both of these and all of the rest of Egon's accessories. The only things that were exclusive to this set were Boogieman and his head and his hands. I mean, Boogieman and his accessories were what were exclusive to the timed edition that you had to do earlier this year, because Venkman was last November. So this year it's been Egon, Winston, and Ray. Woof. Hopefully they wait until spring for Janine, please. But I mean, if you like real Ghostbusters, you could do worse. You know, Diamond Select did make them. I was never able to get them. And given how poorly the movie versions have aged, I'm kind of glad I never did. I'm kind of glad that these are what I'm getting with real Ghostbusters. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for watching. Those are never hollow words. Why I always play with like sharp objects. I don't have like self-destructive tendencies. Those are never hollow words. I mean them from the bottom of my heart, and I just feel like I'm repeating turns of phrase. If you'd like to help me out for free, you can do that by liking the video, commenting on the video, and sharing the video with friends you think would enjoy my either ranting or poor attempts at humor. If you are not already subscribed, you can also help me out by subscribing for free. If you'd like to help me out for slightly more than free, $5 a month on my Patreon. Link is in the description. Go check out all the links in the description, please. $5 a month gets you unlimited behind-the-scenes access to all artwork, works in progress, including all YouTube thumbnails, although I haven't posted there in a while just because mental health has been very bad. I'm going to try and get back to doing that, but I feel like for Patreon, I need more of an incentive of more people on the Patreon in order to post more. And that's not it's not an excuse. It's not a way to guilt people into signing up. And that's just, it's always kind of like in the back of my mind. I wanted to use a word it's a perfectly good word to use, but could absolutely be misinterpreted by audio filters as a slur, and I don't want to be responsible for accidentally saying a slur, let alone that slur. But yeah, just in the back of my head, that's always been like a thing of, if I had more patrons, then I'd be more motivated to post to them. It's like when I have one patron who's looking at my stuff, it's not that he isn't completely just the best person ever for being the only paid patron, but and he absolutely deserves everything that he's paying for. But it's a little disheartening to perform for an audience of one. So I'll never get the big numbers, but bigger numbers would be nice. But anyway, thank you for watching. Please stay safe. TTFN. Tata for now. I don't even want I'm not looking at the screen anymore, but I'm also not looking at the camera. I'm like looking slightly off the camera, and there's nothing to look at. So I'm just like staring off into space. Bye, guys.